Yo, what's up, everybody? How's everybody doing? How's everybody doing? How's everyone's day been today? Hopefully it's been a pretty good one. Womack, what's up, bro? How you doing? How you doing? Snailium, what's up, bro? How you doing? How's everybody doing tonight? Julian, what's up? Suf, what's up? Adonis, what's up? Lilo and Stitch. Yeah, Momo would probably be Stitch. How's everyone doing? Bromus, how you guys doing? Crawler said it's actually 30 minutes. Yeah, I was trying to give an accurate prediction. Happy birthday again. Thank you, Bromus. I appreciate that, bro. You guys able to hear me pretty well? Happy birthday, Unc. Thank you, thank you. I got Momo sitting by my side. I'm going to see if I can do this stream without her battling me today. It's almost a 0% chance. Yeah, she's already trying to brawl. Oh, God. Ow. Jeez. Relax. She's such a feisty young cat, dude. Hold on. I got to move her to a different room. She's battling me full strength. Give me 1 second. Momo. Jeez. 1 second, chat. I'll be right back. Okay. My cat Momo has a ton of personality, bro. I'm telling you. All right, guys. So today I wanted to do a pretty chill live stream, and really I just wanted to yap about Hunter x Hunter, just a bunch of different things in general, and really just answer just about any power scaling question you guys have. The only kind of questions I wouldn't answer would be like ones that are based on videos that I'm working on right now. So like the next videos I'm working on, it's Palace Hunters versus Phantom Troupe, and I'm also thinking of doing a Jing versus Netero, and I'm also thinking of doing a Hisoka versus Crollo. Would you guys like that? Would you guys like if I did a Hisoka versus Crollo is obvious video and like went in detail talking about like all the forms of Crollo that we've seen and all the forms of Hisoka that we've seen, and just go in detail like analyzing both of them and talking about like who would win if there wasn't prep time, stuff like that? Would you guys? Because I wasn't sure if that would be like a video people would actually like. But I could do that one super quick. Like, I legit think I could write that in probably like 3 or 4 hours, and then have it posted by like Friday. People are saying yes. Okay, I might do that one. That one's gonna be kind of experimental, because like that's the kind of video I would maybe do as a live stream. But you know what? I'll take a risk. If you guys are saying yes, then I can do that. Because like I would talk about who would win without prep time, who's actually stronger than who, all that kind of stuff. I would just give my stance on it. And the format we did with the last video where I posted a video and then did a debate on the video like the day after, I like that format, and I think I'm going to do that for my videos moving forward. In fact, like I might just go ahead and do debates for like every video I've done. Like I'm thinking I might do a Gon versus Killua debate tomorrow. I think that would be really fun. I'm thinking of just like doing a debate on every single video that I've done, just like for this week. Have every live stream be a debate. And I was reading through the comments on the last debate just to see like what people were saying, and one of the things they were saying, it's like one of the top comments was saying like I need to start muting people if they're like over talking others. So I can do that. Or if like any of you guys here would like to be moderators and like would like that to be like your position, let me know. I'm thinking like people who want to be mods, I might just gift them a membership so they get access to like all the members only videos, something like that. But Flo said, do Nove, Knuckle, and Shoot versus 4 to 5 Phantom Troupe members. So I can talk about that a little bit. So honestly, Nove, we didn't really get to see what he's capable of, but there's a couple things that imply he might be like more physically capable or just like more well-rounded than Knuckle and Shoot are. He might even have more experience than them because like the statement where Morel, like here, maybe so this is actually just one of my old live stream PowerPoints. I didn't even modify it or add anything new to it. But none of this really correlates with the stuff I'm talking about right here. This is just like one of my old ones, and I just changed the thumbnail on it for this live stream here. But there was a statement by Morel where he said that Knuckle and Shoot wouldn't even be worth, like, well, Morel said they would be like, they're not really reliable enough to invade like the Queen's palace. This was before Merowyn was born. And Morel was saying, like, at best, we could use them as bait. And, like, that statement implies, like, Nove is superior to them in at least one aspect. Like, Nove would be more reliable than them, at the very least. But, I mean, the fact that Nove, like, got so scared of the Chimera ants, got so scared of Poof's N, kind of like brings some questions to that. But there's a couple different ways you could scale Nove. Like let's talk about like how strong Nove is really quick. What's up, Ethereal? So like there's a couple different ways you could scale Nove. If you highball Nove, then he's just straight up superior to Knuckle and Shoot and everything. So he would like be physically stronger than both of them. Like if they were to fight without using Hatsu abilities, Nove would still win. Like if they're just like boxing with just like raw Ken and just straight up like throwing hands, Nove would still win. Then when you add Hatsu on top of it, it's like not even close. Like that's the kind of situation if you'd be dealing with if you highball Nove. If you lowball Nove, he would just be stronger using his Hatsu ability. Like if they're to start fighting, Knuckle and Shoot would get the upper hand on him in hand-to-hand, but when he starts using his Hatsu, then he'd be able to win. Honestly, the thing about Nove's Hatsu is it's just kind of really broken. Like, I don't think you can block it. To just create, creating freaking, like, wormholes and just ripping people's limbs off, I don't think it can be blocked. Yeah, I mean, we saw literally zero counter to it. But what were you guys? What did someone ask me? It was like Nove, Knuckle, and Shoot versus 4 to 5 Phantom Troupe members. So it depends on which Phantom Troupe members they're fighting. Oh, you said Morel as well. Oh, Morel, Nove, Knuckle, and Shoot versus 4 to 5 Phantom Troupe members. Okay, so that's actually kind of interesting. Maybe we could let's do a tier list. I have this tier list up. Let's do a tier list, okay? So Let me change this. Like, this is the old Zodiac tier list we had. Let's change this to Phantom Troupe. And this is like top of Phantom Troupe, high tier Phantom Troupe, mid tier Phantom Troupe, low tier Phantom Troupe. And let's move these guys out of here. And let's just replace them with like Phantom Troupe members. And then let's see like where Nove, Knuckle, Morel, and Shoot would fit into that. Real quick, we can just yap about that for a little bit. Take these guys out. Let's take Morel out too. And him out, and him. So the top of Phantom Troupe are clearly like, it would be Crollo, and then Hisoka. If we want to do a composite Phantom Troupe, like everyone who's ever been a member, we have Illumi up here. We got Uvo, and we got Phaeton. Where's Phaeton at? He's probably down here somewhere. Where's Phaeton at? Do you guys see Phaeton on this thing? He's got to be here somewhere. They wouldn't leave him off. He's such a well-recognized character. Chat, does anyone see Phaeton on this thing? I'm looking for Phaeton. Where's Phaeton at? I'm not seeing him yet. I see Nove. Let me put him up here so he's just easier to grab. You said in the middle? Oh, there he is. You're right. Thank you, bro. Okay, so Phaeton. So let's talk about this for a second. Who do you guys think is stronger between Uvo and Phaeton? Who do you guys think is stronger between Uvo and Phaeton? Because, like, my stance on it, Pain Packer would most likely one-shot Uvo, just based, like, Pain Packer seems to be a much stronger attack than Big Bang Impact. We didn't even get to see it at its limit. So if you're just talking about, like, the peak of their abilities, Phaeton is stronger. Honestly, I'm thinking Phaeton would beat Uvo, if I'm just being straight up honest with you. Like, Pain Packer would just cook Uvo. I'm going to put him above him. I'm going to put Uvo at, like, the start of High Phantom Troupe. Fantasy Sport Enthusiast, what's up, bro? Ahmed was saying Uvo stronger. Snailium saying Uvo. You guys are saying Uvo above Phaeton. Yeah, I think Phaeton would win, though, just because, like, Pain Packer is an ability that could, like, one-shot multiple members of the Phantom Troupe together. Meanwhile, Big Bang Impact was getting blocked by Kurapika before he even knew, like, Ken and Ryu. So, I'm putting Phaeton above Uvo. Yeah, Uvo is physically stronger, but I would say overall Phaeton's more likely to win. Also, we saw... sorry. We saw Kurapika was, like, kind of speed blitzing 50% Uvo. And he was still reacting to 100% Uvo, too. Like, 100% Uvo made a smokescreen and, like, appeared behind Kurapika, and Kurapika still blocked it. Like, last minute. So, I mean, I'd lean towards saying Phaeton's faster than Kurapika. So, I mean, if you wanted to be really... If you wanted to highball Phaeton, you could say, like, Uvo might not even be able to land a hit on him, bro. I think that's a high ball for Phaeton. Like, I think Uvo would land at least one attack on him, but it definitely wouldn't be easy. Ahmed said that's just because Kurapika's busted. That could be. Kurapika is pretty crazy, dude. It's because he's just willing to throw his life away for power. Like, pretty much no other Nen user is willing to do that. Except for, you know, Crash Out Gone. Oh, you know what? Another stream I could have just done off rip without even thinking about it. I could have done Wing as a fraud. I could have done that as a stream for tonight. Maybe I'll do that tomorrow because Wing is such a fraud, bro. In my opinion, Wing is a fraud. I could off the dome roast like that character, bro. Like, I could have done that instead of this one, but I think this will be a little more fun. Anyways, who else would be high? Phantom Troupe. We got probably Nobunaga would be next. Either Nobunaga or Finks. Like, the thing about Nobunaga and Finks is, like, we haven't really seen Nobunaga fight really anyone. Like, all we know about Nobunaga is that he's trash at using N. He's got a 4-meter radius N. And at the start of the series, Killua said to Gon, like, just imagine that Nobunaga and Machi are like two Hisokas. But you could just interpret that as Killua saying, like, they're so far out of your league currently, Gon, that they might as well be Hisoka. Or you could say that they're, like, relative to Hisoka, but I don't know. I think that's debatable for sure. There's also a panel in the manga where they go in detail explaining, like, how Machi's ability works. So maybe we could find that during the stream and talk about that too. Suki, the Kyoshi warrior, said Phaeton would win in a 1v1, but Uvo is the better Nen user. I don't know. That is kind of debatable. I don't know if Uvo's actually a better Nen user than Phaeton. It's debatable, though, because, like, Uvo is stated to be an enhancer, a master enhancer, and I'm not exactly sure what Phaeton's Nen type is. He might be a transmuter. based on like what we saw Pain Packer do. Like he's transmuting his pain into. Hey, Bromus, you can't hit me with these crazy donos, man. Dude, Bromus, I appreciate you a lot, bro. Thank you. You said all I want is to see a stream dogging on the strength chart and your rankings of the Nentais, bro. I got you, man. We can talk about the strength charts. Bromus, thank you for that donation, man. I appreciate that a lot. I got to do the Kengan Ashura live stream purely for Bromus because I've been reading Kengan Ashura, and just a couple things I can say about that really quick, bro, is that series is really good. Like, it's a lot better than what I was expecting it to be. It's if I'm being honest with you, I don't know, would that be a hot take? I was gonna say it might be a little better written than Baki. It might be a little, like, but that might be a hot take though, because Baki is like just such a iconic fighting manga, and it's just so simple and like so well done. Like if you read the arc of Baki when he's 13, all the way until the maximum tournament arc. The maximum tournament arc, it's in like my top. It might be in my like top 10 favorite arcs I've ever read. The maximum tournament arc in Baki, where Baki's 17, and it's where you meet Katsumi for the first time, and Baki fights Retsu at the end of the tournament. That's in like my top 10. It's just such a brutal tournament. Every fight is insane. People are like basically dying. It's insane. But Kengan, it just seems like they put more effort into the world building in Kengan. But I'll talk about that a little later because people are here for Hunter x Hunter. But I'm definitely going to do a live stream specifically for Bromus talking about Kengan. I'll probably also talk about Baki a lot in that stream. But anyway, talking about Hunter x Hunter. So we got Uvo here. Sorry guys, I lost my train of thought. Bromus, thank you very much for that donation, dude. I appreciate it. So we got Uvo here. And what I was saying is like Uvo is stated to be a master enhancer, but I don't know if Phaeton is a master transmuter. Also, there's statements saying like Uvo was focused on strength, like that was his main thing. He just wanted to get stronger and stronger. And like when you look at the Phantom Troupe's like childhood, Uvo was the strongest of all of them, like when they were kids. And like before they learned Nen, Uvo was just like by far stronger than everyone, even Crollo. And they actually like originally wanted Uvo to be the leader of the Phantom Troupe, but then they chose Crollo just because like Crollo's a genius. Okay, so I'm going back to ranking the Phantom Troupe. So we got Uvo here, and then next is either Finks or Nobunaga. Who do you guys think is stronger between Finks and Nobunaga? I think they're very relative. But we don't even know what Nobunaga's Hatsu ability is. What if Nobunaga doesn't have a Hatsu? That would be insane. I don't think he doesn't have one. I think he's got to have one. The thing is, we haven't seen like really anything from Nobunaga. He wasn't at the Chimera Ant. He wasn't in the Chimera Ant arc, so we didn't get to see what his Hatsu was. He might have something cracked. And do we know what his what his Nen type is? Nobunaga, to me, seems like he'd be like an emitter. I could see him having, like, Zoro-type sword slashes from One Piece, where he just sends, like, a flying slash. But, that's complete headcanon. I don't know what Nobunaga's Hatsu is. But I'm gonna put Finks above Nobunaga just because we don't know anything about his abilities. Nobunaga's an enhancer? Well, let me Google this. Let me Google this real quick. Nobunaga Nen type. Let's see what it says. That's AI. But the wiki does say enhancer. But sometimes the wiki can get things wrong. I don't know if it's ever even stated. Another thing that's interesting is looking at the arm wrestling rankings. There's a lot of just really cool stuff in Hunter x Hunter to like look at and yap about, bro. There's so much cool stuff. But I don't know. If he's an enhancer, the arm wrestling rankings don't really tell you who's overall a stronger person, but I kind of think Togashi was using the arm wrestling rankings to just show you who's like physically stronger than who. I think that was like his intention with it. And Nobunaga is ranked 9 on the arm wrestling chart. He's below Bona Lenov, actually, which is kind of nuts. He's below Bona Lenov. So if he's an enhancer, physically weaker than Bona Lenov, that would actually be kind of diabolical. But you could just say like most of his strength comes from his swordsmanship. Anyway, I'm going to believe him here. Let's go to mid-tier. Where's Bona Lenov? I'd say I would put Bona Lenov at the peak of mid-tier. Because I think Bona Lenov is actually like massively underrated. Where's Bona Lenov's? Where is he at? You guys see him on here, chat? Bona Lenov. Anyone see Bona Lenov? Crawler said, we need Fink slandering, bro, is boring. Where is Bona Lenov? Chat, anybody see him? I don't see Bona Lenov. Uvo versus Razor. That would be an extremely close fight, but I lean slightly towards Razor. Just because Razor has like more tools in his toolkit. And honestly, Big Bang Impact probably is not one-shotting Razor. Like, seeing how freaking Karapika could block it at the start of the series before even learning Ken, and we see Razor is strong enough to, like, deflect rock. Casually deflect rock. I don't think he's going to die to a singular Big Bang Impact. He'd take damage from it, I think, but he's not going to die to it on the first one. And, meanwhile, Uvo has to dodge, like, trick shots from multiple emitter attacks. It'd be tough. It wouldn't be an easy fight, but I actually would lean more towards Razor just because he has more tools in his toolkit. Bro, Adobe Acrobat, get out of here, bro. Does anyone see Bona Lenov? Does he even exist? Third row. Oh, bro, you guys have some good eyeballs, man. So I'm gonna put him at the top of mid tier. Bro, honestly, to be really honest, Bona Lenov might be stronger than Nobunaga. But I mean, Nobunaga's just a featless. Not only is he featless, he's like statementless. I think like the only statement about Nobunaga fighting is that like when him and Uvo were fighting together, Uvo would fight stronger because he was like trying to protect Nobunaga. So that tells you like Nobunaga was weaker than Uvo was. But honestly, Bona Lenov is like, he's got some pretty cool statements. Like when he was disguised as Hisoka during the Succession War arc, Heinrei looked at him and thought like, this dude could solo our entire family. And I would assume that would include Heinrei too. And Heinrei's pretty strong. Like Heinrei's strong compared to these people who just got Nen abilities. And I think they were ranked like level 20. And it's like every time your level goes up, you get like I think so the way this one girl's Hatsu ability worked was she could create other Nen users and they would level up like RPG characters. So like every time they go up a level, they're like the strength of their aura would increase slightly. And these guys were like level 20. And Heinrei beat 3 level 20s easily. And then, like, Heinrei looked at Bona Lenov disguised as Hisoka and said, like, yeah, this guy could solo our whole family. But, I mean, the Mafia family and Hunter x Hunter, a lot of them are fodder, bro. Like, something I thought about, like, the Shadow Beasts were stated to be, like, their strongest Nen users from the Mafia families. I don't know if it's the same ones that are in the Succession War, though. But the Shadow Beasts were, like, all of the Mafia's, like, strongest Nen users, bro. And, like, we saw they were just kind of jobbers. But who do you guys think is stronger, Bona Lenov or Nobunaga? Because, like, I mean, Bona Lenov has way better statements and, like, actually has fought. But I won't lie, Nobunaga has more, like, just... when I say this, I'm not saying he has more aura as in, like, he has more aura capacity. I mean, this dude's just kind of an aura farmer in general. Who do you guys think is stronger between Nobunaga and Bona Lenov? Adonis says Bona Lenov. Alexander Brown said the Mafia knows they can't contest with a Phantom Troupe. Star says, "Where's that Aunt Mito scaling?" You know what? She'd probably one-shot Crollo, if I'm being completely honest. Gets a Bonolenov scaring Heinrich is not a feat like that, to be honest. The Heinrich slander has already began. Nobu, Bromish, you said Nobu, he's in the assault squad. Bono. Oh, you know what? That's actually a good point. I forgot about that. Like, they're stated to be like the assault squad. Like, it was like some translation. There is this Phantom Troupe fanboy, and he was looking at Finks, Nobunaga, and Phaeton, and he either called them like the command unit or the assault squad. It was some term like that. I'm gonna go ahead and leave Nobunaga above him just a little bit. But if they were to fight, it would be very close. But I'll leave Nobunaga above him. But I mean, we really need to see like some feats from this guy. Okay. So we have Bonolenov here. I put Machi right behind him. Just because Machi's ability doesn't really seem like it's designed for fighting, really. It's more like a medic-based ability, but she can use it to fight people. Yeah, there is a panel where it explains her Nen ability, but I don't know it off the top of my head. Kona, what's up, bro? How you guys doing? How you doing, Kona? So we have Machi here, and then who's after Machi? Let me see. So we would have someone maybe like, oh, Franklin. We got Franklin. Franklin is completely, 100% featless. But his Hatsu ability is actually a conditional Nen. Like there's a statement in the manga where it says like he didn't actually need to chop his fingers off to use his like finger bullet ability, but he's just crazy and did that anyway. And him chopping his fingers off actually made the bullet stronger, like a conditional Nen. Anyone see? Oh, here he is. All right, Franklin. I'm going to put him behind Machi, but it's just because we know nothing about him. Completely featless. He could be strong. He's crazy, by the way. Like during the Succession War, a bunch of people like went into groups to hunt down Hisoka, but Franklin and Machi just went on their own. I don't know what they're thinking. Like, to be honest with you, I think Machi might not. I don't know if Machi really even wants to fight Hisoka, because like she stated like kind of numerous times she might be the kindest Phantom Troupe member, and she might not really even want to fight him. Franklin, though, like for whatever reason thinks he could fight Hisoka 1v1. I don't know why he thinks that, but yeah, he's there. Then we have Shizuku and Shalnark. Does anyone see those two jobbers? Shizuku and Shalnark, where are those jobbers at? Oh, we have Kaluto. Kaluto's at the absolute bottom of Phantom Troupe. Like, Kaluto's pretty much confirmed to be the actual weakest member. Where's Shalnark at, though? You guys see those two jobbers? Shizuku. Oh, there they are. They're right next to each other, too. All right, I'm putting them both above Kaluto, though, just based on the scene where they were like watching Phaeton fight Zazan, and like Shizuku and Shalnark were just kind of chilling watching the fight and saying like, oh yeah, he's holding back, like this isn't like they were both saying that Phaeton's holding back, he's not at his usual form, and we're just casually like chilling watching the fight. Meanwhile, Kaluto like couldn't even see like what was happening. And is that all of them? Is that all the members? Did I forget anybody? Oh, Koritopi. Okay, actually, yeah, Koritopi's actually the confirmed weakest. Oh, and Pakunoda. But does anyone care about Pakunoda, bro? Like, Pakunoda's ability was just, like, reading memories, not even a fighter type. And got murked by Kurapika, like, without Kurapika even, like, seeing Pakunoda, like. Well, no, I think Kurapika saw Pakunoda for, like, a split second, but. Where is Pakunoda at? Pakunoda and Koritopi. Oh, they're right next to each other as well. These are actually the two true weakest members. I'd actually put maybe Koritopi. This is just a battle for last place. I don't know. But either way, they're kind of irrelevant. Okay, so you guys were asking me Where would Morel, Nove, Knuckle, and Shoot line up in this? Where's Knuckle and Shoot? I want to find them. I'm just going to put them all up here. Okay, yeah, here's Knuckle. And where's Shoot at? Shoot, where are you, bro? Shoot, where is Shoot? Where is Shoot? Anyone see Shoot? Anyone see Shoot? I'm looking for him. I don't see Shoot on here, bro. Momo's crying because I pushed her out of my room. Anyone see Shoot on this thing? Even Momo doesn't see Shoot, bro. I'm not sure where Shoot is at, bruh. Anyone in the chat at the very bottom? I don't see. Oh, he's right here. He's right here. You guys got some very good vision. All right. So let's start putting these guys in here, okay? So, Nove, well, no, we'll start with Knuckle, okay? So Knuckle is stated to be physically on par with Kite in terms of like raw physical strength. And then he's stated to be a veteran of over 5,000 Nen battles, and his Hatsu ability is extremely hacks. We talked about it in previous live streams, but just like a brief description of it, it's like against Gon, he hit Gon with it, and then he said 4 minutes from now you're gonna go bankrupt. And Gon had as much aura as a mid-ranking pro, and Knuckle can speed up the bankruptcy if he hits you more times. So like he can increase like the speed in which you go bankrupt if he continues fighting you. It's like 4 minutes if he hit Gon and like they didn't fight at all after that. Gon would go bankrupt in 4 minutes. And against Youpi, it took about 11 minutes and 30 seconds for Youpi to go bankrupt. And Youpi has insane amounts of aura, 700,000 aura. Okay, which was 10 times more than Morel, and Morel had like more than three times as much as a mid-level pro. So it's like I would say most of the Phantom Troupe, excluding Uvo, would be like, well, no, that's actually a highball. I think Morel would have like around as much aura as like the high-tier Phantom Troupe members, and the mid-tier Phantom Troupe members too would be slightly on par with that, I think, in terms of just raw aura. Like mid-tier Phantom Troupe and high-tier Phantom Troupe are all probably somewhat within the Morel ballpark, but basically no one in the Phantom Troupe has as much aura as Youpi. So it's like at the absolute longest it would take 11 minutes for them to go bankrupt, but none of them have aura like Youpi. So it's like it's somewhere in the range of 4 to 11 minutes is all it takes for like Knuckle to defeat pretty much anyone in Hunter x Hunter. My guess is like most of the Phantom Troupe would go bankrupt in like 5 minutes, 6 minutes at most. That's what I think. 6 minutes at most. You actually could do the math and calculate like how long it would take for someone with 700,000 aura to go bankrupt. I mean 70,000 aura to go bankrupt, because it's like it's a 10% interest every 10 seconds. So you could do the math on that and figure out like, but that's a little bit too math heavy for this stream. My assumption is like it would take, if you have 70,000 aura and he hits you one time and then doesn't hit you again, I think it takes 6 minutes to go bankrupt. But if someone wants to do the math on that and calculate like how long it would take, let me know. Okay, like maybe I could do that off stream and calculate it, because that wouldn't be fun to watch. Like me just calculating like the interest rates for like 10 to 20 minutes. It probably wouldn't be fun to watch. But let's just say it's 6 minutes. If anyone wants to do the math on that and like correct me, let me know. But for now, I'm going to say it's 6 minutes. Like I could show you the panel for like how to do the math if anyone actually wants to do it. Oh yeah, and just on a side note, I was rereading the intro arc of Hunter x Hunter. And this scene where Gon gets hit with like a poison dart where it's supposed to take 10 days to recover, and he just stands up instantly is pretty crazy. Oh, and another thing is like, I think Togashi just forgot that Gon used to fight with a fishing pole, because Gon could have done some really cool things with that if it stayed there. But let me find the chapter where it shows you how Knuckles APR interest increases. So if anyone in the chat wants to do the actual math for how long it would take for somebody with 70,000 aura to go bankrupt, or if you want, you could do 100,000, because like I don't think anyone in the Phantom Troupe has more than like 120,000 aura. Like Uvo might have like 100k, maybe 120, but I don't think anyone in the Phantom Troupe would be above that. I know the chapter is like around here. It's like might be 207. Oh no, it's not. It's like 210. It's like 210 or maybe the one after that. Oh, it's 211. Okay, I'll just show you guys this in case anyone wants to do the math like while I do the rest of the power scaling stuff. So like this is how the math for like calculating how long it takes for people to go bankrupt actually works. So hold on, let me go to the first attack here. Okay, we'll just do it like this. This is the simplest way to look at it. So let's say that Knuckle hits you with 500 aura in his first attack. 10 seconds later, the interest is going to increase by 10%. So 10% of 505 is 51, and then it goes up to 56. Then another 10 seconds, it's going to be another 10%. So 10% of 556 is just 56. So you add 56 to 556, you get 612. Then another 10 seconds goes by, you get 61, et cetera, et cetera. That's if Knuckle just hits you one time and does not hit you more. But like Knuckle says right here, he can increase the speed if he keeps hitting you more. So it's like he hit Gone again, and then it like starts going up by like however much he hit Gone by. So if someone in the chat wants to be an absolute mad lad and calculate how long it would take for someone with 70,000 aura to go bankrupt if he hits you one time, feel free. Another thing to keep in mind is like you go bankrupt when hold on, he says it right here. He says okay, he says when the borrowed aura including interest is bigger than your current remaining total aura, you go bankrupt. So it's like Gone started with 21,000 aura, but like as he's fighting, he's spending a lot of aura. So like to go bankrupt, this thing does not need to hit 21,000. It only needs to hit however much aura Gone has left. So it's like, let's say they fight for a bit and now Gone only has 10,000 aura left. This number does not need to hit 21,000 anymore. It needs to hit 10,000. Okay. And like against Gone, he was saying like you'll go bankrupt in 4 minutes and 20 seconds. So yeah, if anyone wants to do the math and figure out exactly precisely how long it would take for someone like Morel to go bankrupt, someone with 70,000 aura, feel free, let me know in the chat. But I'm just gonna give a medium ball estimate and say it'll take 6 minutes. 6 to 7 minutes, anyone fighting Knuckle would go bankrupt in the Phantom Troupe. And it might even be faster if he's like hitting them while the fight goes on and like increasing the interest, stuff like that. But and the other thing about Knuckles' ability is like you can't even damage him until you pay off the debt either. That's another thing he says. Like he says it during this. Oh wait, hold on. Is that where he says it? Because I remember that's like he says that specifically. It's like until you pay back the debt, I don't take damage. I want to see if I can find that specific panel. No, I don't think it's here. But yeah, that's like one of the really cool things about the ability is he can't take damage until you've paid back all the debt. I just want to find that exact panel, but I'm not going to spend too much time looking for it. I might have already like scrolled past it. Oh, it's right here. I found it. That's dope. Okay, yeah, he says it right here. He says, until you pay back the debt completely, I won't get damaged from your attacks. So this is actually just a really broken Hatsu ability. This is actually my favorite Hatsu in the whole manga, by the way. I think it's a genius like power that Togashi thought of. So anyway, you got a dude who's like on par with Kite in physical strength. He has one of the most broken Hatsus in the verse. And he's like extremely experienced Nen user. I would say overall, I'm putting Knuckle. He's like on par with these guys. Like, I legit would put him above, like at the low. Okay, let me do it like this. If I'm lowballing Knuckle, lowballing him to the max, I put him here. Maybe here if I'm just kind of being mean to Knuckle, bro. I'd put him there at the absolute lowest. At the absolute highest, I'd put him here. And I honestly think he could win against Uvo if he like does the hit and run tactic. Okay? That's like the max I'd put him. A medium ball interpretation, maybe here. Because someone like Finks is actually a really good counter to Knuckle. Like his wind-up punch, he might be able to pay off a huge chunk, like maybe even all of the debt with one punch. He might be able to do that, which is kind of crazy. But, yeah, so, I mean, I think this would be like a middle ball interpretation of Knuckle, a high ball interpretation of Knuckle, I put him here, and a low, like, being mean to Knuckle low ball, I put him here. But we'll just use the... Honestly, I think he's above Finks. What do you guys think about that? Before I keep going, let me know what you guys think about that. Anyone disagree with that? Big Alex Rock said Illumi versus Silva. Oh, Silva. Silva should still be stronger than Illumi for now. Just because Silva's still the head of the family. Okay, I'm just gonna leave Knuckle here. So next we got Nove. Okay, so Nove actually should be stronger than Knuckle. Like the thing is, dude, Nove gets downplayed a lot because he got hit by well, he saw Poof's end while he was in Zetsu and it terrified him. And like I've said this in previous streams, like we said it in, I think that was yesterday when we did the debate. Someone was saying that they really think the real reason Nove was removed from the palace invasion was like kind of plot, because he's just kind of genuinely too strong. If he showed up at the invasion and he was the one who was invisible, just erasing like the royal guards like heads, like it's kind of broken. And based on like the Morel statement where he was saying like the students wouldn't even be worthy as like using them as bait. But Nove like that like implies Nove is like at least more reliable than them. I don't know. There's a couple different ways you could scale Nove. I personally think Nove would be stronger than Knuckle. So, and I mean, like, dude, his ability is really cracked. Like, they said that Uvo struggled with fighting people who use tricks as well. Like, Nove might be able to just solo Uvo. Like, it's crazy to say that, but, like, Nove might be able to beat Uvo, bro. Like, if he just tricks him. Like, imagine Nove just, like, he's fighting Uvo, he just hides in his subspace and just teleports, like, opens up a subspace behind him and erases his head. Actually, let's look at the chapter where Nove gets scared. Does anyone in the chat know the chapter where Nove gets scared? Does anyone here know the chapter number? Because I'd like to pull that up, because we get to see a little bit of how he fights too. Also, I think a lot of people don't know this. He killed one of the officer ants. That dude who, like, Icalgo takes over his body. Nove was the one who killed him. Like, well, Icalgo takes over a couple bodies. I don't remember what his name was. It might have been Flutter. He was, like, the dude who was, like, kind of a surveillance officer ant, and he worked with Leol. And he, like, Killua saw him too. Like, the dude was just, like, observing Killua while Killua was fighting in the woods. Nove actually kills that guy. Yeah, Flutter. Yeah, I think his name was Flutter. Does anyone know the chapter number where Nove gets scared? I'd like to actually look at that. Ahmed, you said 251. We'll give that a try. Let's see. Oh, you might be right, bro. Okay, yeah. So I want to see. Oh yeah, this is what I wanted to see. I want to look at like how he uses his powers. Actually, let's go back. Let's go back to the one before this too, bro. And yeah, Killua did look at Nove and said, "I could tell you're very strong too." Is Nove even in this chapter, bro? Let's see. Let's look at Nove here. This is kind of interesting dialogue. He said, "We only need to win one battle. We can sacrifice 3 as long as we kill the king." What did he mean by that? Like, was he saying all of them can lose as long as the king dies? This is interesting. Okay, I just want to see, like, Nove's abilities. He infiltrated the palace on his own, which is pretty impressive. Okay, we're just going to go to the next chapter. I wanted to see if there was any dialogue in there talking about his strength or anything. But now let's look at, like, the stuff he does while he's in the palace. He went into the palace by himself, which is pretty crazy. Okay, he says the central staircase is still over 100 meters away. And, like, his ability had, like, 2 forms to it. It's, like, one where he can go into his own subspace, and then the other where he's, like, just erasing people's heads. So, this is him, like, going into his subspace, I think, and using it to teleport. Okay. I just want to see if there's any interesting scaling stuff for him here. So, okay, this actually gives us an idea about how fast his ability is, too. So, like, he's running down the halls, and the moment he sees an ant, he erases its head before it, like, gets the chance to make any noise. So this had to be extreme, like, this had to be pretty fast. He erased its head in an instant. Like, okay, I'm gonna be on. I'm gonna put Nove above Uvo, guys. Like, I'm thinking I'm gonna put Nove above Uvo. Like, this power is broken. This power is cracked. This power is cracked. I don't think, like, can anyone block this? He ripped this dude's head off so quick he didn't have the time to make a sound, bro. And he's doing this stealth. And this is him. So, also, was he doing this in Zetsu? So, I think he was in Zetsu because he's hiding, and then instantly turns Zetsu off, uses his Hatsu, and then goes back to Zetsu. That would be my guess. Because he, like, doesn't want to be sensed, right? He doesn't want to be sensed. And I'd imagine that he's in Zetsu right here when he sees this aura. And he's just terrified of getting tortured by the Royal Guard. And let me see if they show him in the next chapter. I mean, if I was Nove, I know I'd be in Zetsu because, like, he doesn't want his aura to get sensed, but... Oh, hold on, let me see here. And this is him just breaking down. His spirit breaks from seeing the aura. Alright. I mean, I honestly think they removed Nove for plot because, like, that power is so cracked. I'm gonna go ahead and put Nove above Uvo, guys. And also, let's go back to, like, when Nove wasn't spirit broken and, like, was actually confident in his abilities and stuff. Like, maybe it's chapter 203, maybe? Like, I want to see if I can find the panel where they're, like, Knuckle and Shoot wouldn't even be worthy as bait. This might take me a second. Like, it might not be worth searching for it. It might not be worth searching for it. I'll look through, like, a couple chapters. I'm not going to spend... It's not. I don't think it's in the gyro chapter. This was them like taking out a bunch of squadrons like with like a combo attack. Like Nove was creating portals, Morel was like creating smoke screens. They were just falling in the portals, and then Netero was slapping them. They took out like a lot of people doing that, or a lot of Chimera ants. I'm not gonna look for it. That's gonna take too long. But I'm gonna go ahead and put Nove here. It is actually just cracked. Bromus said he could be using Ean since he's making portals and they aren't despawning. That's possible too. But I'm going to put Nove here. Does anyone disagree with this placement? Odin said 101 gorillas versus 1 Gon. Gon would probably like crush them all. 101 gorillas would be a lot weaker than the Nen beasts that he was fighting in Greed Island. Yeah, the Nen beasts were like way bigger than gorillas and like had Nen and like, well, I don't know. Did the Nen beasts in I'm pretty sure they had Nen. But anyways, you guys were saying he should be higher above Crollo. I don't know about that, man. Because he's like relative with Morel, and like, you know, the crazy thing is I actually think Nove might have been stronger than Morel when I really think about it. Kona's saying swap Uvo and Phaeton. So you think Phaeton should be here and Uvo should be here? Yeah, it's just, I think if these two fight each other, Phaeton's going to win almost every time, though, with Painpacker. That's why I have Phaeton here. Nove placement is fine. All right, so now we'll move on to Morel. Morel is, like, very relative to Nove, but I think he would lose to Uvo. I think Morel is actually an excellent matchup for people like Finks, because he would just outsmart him massively and just find ways to defeat him using like trickery and experience. And I think that would actually be a very fascinating fight. But against someone like Uvo, who's like, he seems like he would just outscale him in raw stats, I'd lean more towards Uvo. But like Morel would have like he would have a win condition over Uvo if they're fighting inside and he like CO2 poisons him. But I'd put Morel right here. And then Shoot, like I'm talking about evolved Shoot, like after the Chimera Ant arc, where he can now like fly on his foot. Okay, let me put it like this: if I'm lowballing Shoot, that's a horrible lowball. I don't think Shoot is this weak. Well, hold on. Okay, let me put it like this: if I'm lowballing Shoot, I'm putting him here. No, if I'm lowballing, I don't think he's weaker than Machi. If I'm lowballing Shoot, I'm putting him here. If I'm medium balling Shoot, here. Or maybe here. If I'm high balling Shoot, he's here. What do you guys think about the Shoot placement? Because Shoot is actually pretty cracked. I think he fought Yuppie for like 30 seconds, and I don't know, like, I think Bromus told me it was 30 seconds, but I think at most it might have been like a minute and a half, because like when Knuckle finds Shoot on the ground, he says 10 minutes from now Yuppie will go bankrupt, and then the narrator says like 11 minutes and 30 seconds into the invasion, that's when Yuppie would go bankrupt. So it's like, at highest, that would mean that Shoot fought Yuppie for a minute and a half. Bromus says Shoot's greater than Knuckle. I actually think, yeah, if Shoot fights Knuckle, he's going to win more often than not. Just because, like, especially since he can fly. Like, someone had said that in the comments one time. They're like, if Shoot fights Knuckle, all he has to do is, like, fly and beat him up from a distance. Like, Knuckle doesn't have long range attacks, and I'm like, you know what, true, like, he doesn't, you know. So, and he could just remove, like, Shoot's ability is actually pretty broken. Like, he can just make you blind, he can take your eyes, and then he just kind of wins. Shoot is actually very underrated. Like, he can just take your body parts, bro. Like, which is a crazy thing to say. Like, that's just a weird statement. But he can just make people go blind, and then he just beats them down. It's actually a pretty broken ability. Like, I think Shoot would have been a better matchup for Poof. Well, no, Poof, I mean, if you take Poof's eyes, he could probably still just see through his clones. But maybe he would have been a better matchup for Pito, but Gon's not letting anyone fight Pito. But, like, Shoot's ability is actually very strong, because he hit Killua one time and took his eye. So if he hits you twice, you're blind. That's crazy. You know, like, he can make anyone, just about anyone go blind if he hits them twice. And then he can, in his, like, evolved state, he was weaving Yuppie. Like, the way he was weaving Yuppie makes me question if, like, people like Finks would even be able to hit him. Anno said, at just 10% of your aura accumulated, you go bankrupt in 4 minutes, 10 seconds with APR. APR math is pretty wild. Indigo says, Togashi given, or maybe you meant gave, the strong characters mental nerfs, Shoot and Nove. Yeah, dude, like, that's also just kind of like a writing tactic I've seen other mangaka do. Like, when you give characters really powerful abilities, you just, like, nerf them with their mentality. Because Shoot's ability really is broken. If he hits you twice, he just makes you blind. That's actually pretty crazy. Jotaro, did I say the way he was beating Yuppie? That I didn't mean to say that. I meant to say the way he was fighting Yuppie. My fault. Or maybe I meant to say the way he was dodging Yuppie. That's what I meant to say. The way he was dodging Yuppie makes me question if people like Finks would even be able to hit him in his, like, new evolved form. But yeah, I mean, Shoot is kind of just, like, not someone people would want to fight. He hits you twice, you can't see anymore. Then he just zips around and beats the daylights out of you, bro. Like, he's kind of a monster. And honestly, like, when I really think about it, he would be a bad matchup for Uvo, bro. He would be a terrible matchup for Uvo. Uvo is like they said that Uvo did poorly against people who have, like, tricky abilities. Like, Shoot would... Yo, chat, tell me if this is a hot take, but I think Shoot beats Uvo, like, 9 times out of 10. He hits him twice, Uvo's blind, and what's Uvo gonna do then? Like, just slowly get, like, cooked. Adonis, what can Uvo do against him? That's what I'm saying. And I said, Uvo is so basic, everyone is a bad matchup for him. Basically, like, the only way you lose to Uvo is if you try to straight up box him. Well, that's not... I mean, for example, I don't think Killua would beat Uvo quite yet. But, like, Killua's weakness are people who, like, aura diff him. It's interesting, like, how all these different powers go. Killua's weakness are people who, like, aura diff him and can tank a Godspeed duration. Uvo's weakness are just people who have tricky abilities. But, yeah, I mean, the Palace Hunters are pretty cracked. They're, like, all high-tier Phantom Troupe members, basically. And, Shoot, I really think would beat Uvo in a 1v1. Does anyone disagree with that? Let me... Bromis said, Shoot matchup diffs 99 out of 100 enhancers. Flight beats punch. Yeah, he's pretty, like... When I really think about it, Shoot is a very bad matchup for enhancers. Because enhancers tend to not have, like, long-range attacks, right? Does anyone disagree with Shoot beating Uvo? Does anyone here think Uvo would beat Shoot? Uvo screams. I mean, that's a good point. Like, so let's say Uvo's blind and then he screams and, like, destroys Shoot's eardrums. Shoot can still see, Uvo can't. And also, another thing is, like, the Phantom Troupe, all of the Phantom Troupe, even Shalnark, and Shizuku were fast enough to cover their ears before the sound reached them. Does anyone remember the exact chapter number where Uvo fights the Shadow Beast? Because we could look at that panel. Does anyone here remember it? I think it was like in the 70s, or maybe it was like early 80s. Let me know if anyone knows the chapter number where that happened. Maybe it was like, let's try 73. I was wrong. Uvo, wait, was Uvo already dead here? Yo, hold up. Maybe we could find the panel where they talk about Franklin's power too. Is it right here? I don't think it is. Wait, is Uvo still alive? Yeah, he is. Okay, so they haven't fought the Shadow Beast yet. So, maybe like 77? This Shadow Beast actually had a really cool power. He could just cut, like, anything he covered in this cloth, he could just shrink. And they all jumped out, well, almost all of them jumped out of the car before they even got trapped, which was actually pretty cool. Wait, even Shalnark. This is actually kind of a cool feat for Shalnark, bro. Like, he covered the car, and I don't know why Nobunaga's eyes are going different directions. I think they cut that out of the anime. But he covers them in this cloth, and they all hop out. Like, Shizuku, Phaeton, Machi, and Shalnark all jump out of the car before they get shrunk by this ability. And he's like, to have reacted fast enough to get out of that car, none of them are average. It's pretty interesting. And the only reason Nobunaga didn't was because he was like in the middle and had a bad position. This is a cool power. And then they fought all of these Shadow Beasts. Okay, what was I looking for? I lost my train of thought. 75? It was 75. Oh, yeah, it was before this. Yeah, you're right. Let me go to 75. So 75 was when he did the scream attack. That was what we were looking for, right? Oh, I think it's just one more over. Oh, we were close. It was 76, yeah. Oh, bro, we found it too. Hold up. This is the panel I was talking about where they said like Franklin's Hatsu ability is a conditional nen. Okay, so it says like it says he's an emitter. Like, this is something like that's cool about the manga, is they give you like slight little extra details that the anime didn't give. So it says Franklin's an emitter. He modified his fingertips into guns from which he shoots out chunks of aura nen bullets. Of course, this would be possible without cutting his fingers off, but he did anyway because he felt it would be more effective. In fact, the destructive force of each bullet improved dramatically. Willingness to go the extra mile and the addition of restrictions can greatly enhance nen abilities. So like Franklin actually has conditional nen. He actually has conditional nen. Ahmed just said Shalnark above Nobunaga. But I wanted to find the scream part. Right here. Okay, yeah. So this is where he screams at him. And then everyone here complains, and they're like, were you trying to bust our eardrums too? And he apologizes. He said, besides, you're fast enough to cover your ears before the sound reached you. And they're like, yeah, that's true. So they all did. Okay, meanwhile, you have someone like Shoot who's like weaving multiple attacks from Yuppie. I think Shoot would be fast enough to cover his ears too. But they're also at like a farther distance. They're at a farther distance than Shoot would likely be fighting Yuppie, but I think Shoot would be alright. I think he'd be able to block I mean, cover his ears before the sound hits him. He'd also like see Yuppie preparing to do it too. Is there anyone else you guys wanted me to scale real quick? Hey Lilos, I wanted to ask, like, what if Gon had a Ken-based Hatsu, like his co-based John Ken? I think at the very least it would be an improvement. Dude, I think Gon had, like, so many ways to get better. Like, he could have used rock. Like, one thing I used to always think is, like, why doesn't he use rock on his feet? And, like, the same way he's becoming massively stronger with one punch, why doesn't he make himself massively faster? I always thought that would be fascinating. We also never saw Gon learn how to heal using enhancement. These are all the reasons why I want to say Wing is such a fraud, because how... You guys do realize Wing and Gon were the same Nen type, and Wing straight up tells him, like, nah, you don't need a Hatsu, bro. You're good. Like, Wing is such a fraud. I need to do a live stream on him, because it's like, I really think he, like, held Gon and Killua back a little bit, to be honest. He said, blah, blah, all these irrelevant characters. Can we just put Tompa in S tier already? You know what, bro? Tompa versus Crollo would be insane. Tompa is actually the secret top 1 Nen user. Like, when Netero said he fell out of the... like, when Netero said he hadn't been the strongest Nen user in over 50 years, what if it was just secretly Tompa who surpassed him? He didn't, like, Tonpa's just a secret 13th Zodiac. Anno said, true adult Gon versus 50-year-old Jing who's been training on the Dark Continent for decades. Oh. I mean, yeah, we have really no idea how strong Jing is going to get, or really what the limits of his power are right now. But, like, a true adult Gon would just be, like, what we saw, like, that amount of aura plus, like, an actual Nen Master's mind. Like, decades of battle experience. He's just a much wiser, smarter character. And like, what would make sense is that he would have a conditional Nen as well. Like, essentially, like, I think the best analogy for it is imagine Gon with a zero hand of his own, because Netero's an enhancer, and, like, the conditional Nen we saw him use was zero hand. Like, he just uses all his aura in one attack. So imagine Gon having a zero hand. It's hard to imagine Jing beating that. Like, and you're saying 50-year-old Jing, so that's just Jing with 18 more years in the Dark Continent. But, like, the Dark Continent is insane. Who knows, like, what's there? Maybe there's something you just eat it. Like, maybe there's some ingredient in the Dark Continent, you eat it and instantly become, like, twice as strong. Maybe there's something like that. I don't know. The Dark Continent is just such a outlier. We don't know what's there. But, I mean, I'm leaning towards True Adult Gon. I think True Adult Gon would still have greater stats, but, like, Jing would probably be smarter. I'm leaning towards True Adult Gon, though. Broma said, most Hatsu is conditional Nen. I mean, like, there's different kinds of conditions, right? Like, there's light conditions that don't really, like, sacrifice much at all. Like, Finks's conditional Nen, like, it gets stronger by him winding up his arm, but he's not, like, really risking his life. Like, Nen gets stronger the, like, more you risk, right? So, like, for example, Zero Hand is super strong because, like, after using it, Netero's, like, a husk. Like, he can't do anything anymore. Like, I think a true, like, really powerful conditional Nen, they're the ones that, like, after you use it, you're kind of cooked. And, I mean, the best conditional Nen merchant we've seen is Kurapika, where he's just literally shaving his lifespan to bits. Like, every second of Emperor Time takes an hour off his life. Like, conditional Nens like that are very, like, a completely different degree than, like, someone like, who else has a conditional Nen? Like, who else has a conditional Nen that's, like, kind of just simple? Like, Gon, okay, so Gon has like, his rock is kind of a conditional Nen, where he has to charge it up before he uses it. And, like, I think Knuckle has a statement where he's like, you charging and, like, saying those John Ken chants makes your aura go a little bit above like where it should be. But it's like later in the series, Gon learns how to charge that while running and dodging. So it's like, that's not really that big of a deal. That's nothing compared to someone like Kurapika literally shaving hours off his life every second. Or Netero like making himself unable to fight after using it. There's just different levels to conditional Nen. Broma said, strong conditional Nen that leaves you vulnerable afterwards when you miss. Yeah, like there's a difference between that. Like, it's like there's conditional Nen where you're just like kind of mildly inconveniencing yourself, and it gives you a little power up. And then there's conditional Nen where it's like, if you mess up, you're cooked. Like, if you use this, you're cooked afterwards. Like, Zero Hand is the best example of that. Oh, and also Kurapika's, like, one of his, like, strongest ones is, what is it called? Chain Jail. If he uses that on any non-Phantom Troupe member, he literally just dies. So, like, there's some really, like, those are, like, real conditional Nens, you know? Also, yeah, Killua's Nen is like such a bogus condition, really. It's like he gets hurt by the lightning, but he actually doesn't. So, like, you know, it's like I don't really consider that a real serious condition. That's why I think like Godspeed, the only limitation it has is once it runs out, I don't think Killua can use lightning abilities anymore. To be honest with you guys, like, Godspeed is a really cool ability, but I kind of wish Togashi, like, limited it more. Like, I wish he put more balances on it. Like, I wish it was something... Because it just seemed like it came into the series too early, if I'm being honest. It genuinely seems like it came into the series too early. If I could rewrite the way Godspeed was written, I wish it was something where he could only do, like, 1 or 2 attacks with it, and then it runs out. Because, I don't know, I just like the series being balanced, you know? I enjoy... That's, like, one of my favorite things about Hunter x Hunter is, like, every ability has strengths and weaknesses. And, like, I don't know, this might be a hot take, but, like, Godspeed just seemed a little bit too convenient to me. It's like, all Killua had to do was just think, oh, what if I just use lightning to make myself faster? It's like, in theory, like, any transmuter Zoldyck could do that. And and if you're like an enhancer Zoldyck, I don't think they have enhancers. Then you'd still have like an 80% effective Godspeed. But maybe you need to be a transmuter to do it like full-fledged. I don't know, it just seemed like it seemed like it didn't have a strong drawback. Like, it's such a big power, but with like not a big deal drawback. That was something I didn't like. It's kind of similar to Nove. Like, Nove's Hatsu is just cracked. Like, so I don't know. I mean, I still like their powers, but some of these characters, I think their Hatsu are a little too strong. Like, Nove's Hatsu is a little too strong, in my opinion. Like, it doesn't even have a drawback, bro. Nove's Hatsu does not have a drawback at all. It's just like he can just erase anyone and they're cooked. Some of the powers are just a little bit overpowered. But it is what it is. Alucard said, do you think Zoldyck family could survive the poor man's rose? Nah. Meruem couldn't survive it, so. But alright, chat. I think that's everything I'm going to go over for tonight. I'm going to go to sleep, I think. Or I might do a gaming live stream and play Skyrim, bro. I've been loving that game. I've truly been loving that game. Such, like, nostalgia playing it. But yeah, I think that's everything I'm going to talk about for Hunter x Hunter for tonight. Today's been my birthday. It's been a good day. I hit 2 jiu-jitsu practices today. I was just chatting with the dudes at jiu-jitsu. And I went to a restaurant, got some food. It was just a chill day. Really was just chilling all day. It was fun. A very fun birthday. But yeah, I'm thinking I might do a gaming live stream for a little bit. Gone said, literally played Skyrim right now. Dude, Skyrim is such a goated game. Bro. Like, oh, thank you for the happy birthday wishes, guys. I appreciate that. Dude, I was actually, so like, just the backstory on why I started playing Skyrim. I was getting bored of replaying God of War. Like, I've played that game like multiple times through. And the two streaming games I was streaming, one is Street Fighter, and that's a very competitive game where you really have to like be in peak condition to play it. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, if you're trying to climb the ranks, you need to be like well rested and like locked in. And then God of War it was just like my chill game where I'm not really worried about nothing. I can play it while I'm super tired and just have fun. But I was getting bored of that, so I swapped it out for Skyrim. But the reason I chose Skyrim was because I was watching Afro Senju. Anyone in the chat watch Afro Senju? I was watching Afro Senju, and I was watching him play Oblivion, the Oblivion Remastered. And I wanted to get that. I wanted to play Oblivion Remastered as well. But they were selling that game for like $50. I think it was 50. It might have been $60. I don't remember if it was 50 or 60. And then I looked over in Skyrim, like you could just buy Skyrim Remastered and it was $20 cheaper. So I just got that instead. I'm like, Skyrim seems like a better game than Oblivion. It's just like Oblivion 2 with better, and it's remastered anyway. Sanguine said, have you played Cyberpunk? I've actually never played Cyberpunk, but I did watch Afro Senju play that as well. MMMON said, out of topic, but do you think Sukuna's Nen category, if he's thrown in... Oh, what do you think would be Sukuna's Nen category if he was thrown in the Hunter x Hunter world? Would he be a full-blown enhancer to achieve Cleave and Dismantle and Fire Arrow? I think he'd be an emitter, just based on like how his power works. Also, dude, something that would be fun. I want to do another Yu Yu Hakusho stream because that series fits into the Hunter x Hunter world like perfectly. They actually have Nen users in Yu Yu Hakusho as well. Like, I think Yusuke, like, I could do a whole stream on that, like what their Nen types would be. But that's just kind of hard to like market, you know. That's hard to title. Like, what would I title that? Like, Yu Yu Hakusho in Hunter x Hunter, and people would look at that and be like, what is that, bro? Like, you know, or like Yusuke's Nen type is obvious. Maybe that's something like that would be maybe interesting. But I mean, it is kind of obvious. He would obviously be like similar to Gon. He'd be in between enhancer and emitter, most likely, like right in the middle, because he has like an enhancer's personality, but like his attacks are emitter based. Kuwabara would be whatever Knuckle is, because he's pretty much the exact same guy. But he actually might just be a transmuter based on how his power works. Genkai would be a emitter, I think. Hie's a transmuter for sure. What's his? Kurama would be whatever Kurapika is, Conjurer. Yusuke is a specialist, Big Alex Rock. He could be. But Shiki said, what if Yu Yu Hakusho cast had Nen? That could be a nice title. I could just yap about that. But alright guys, I think I'm going to end this stream and I might play a little Skyrim. I'm not 100% committing to that. I might just go to sleep. But if you see a Skyrim stream start up in like 30 minutes, that means I'm playing Skyrim. But if you don't see that, then that means I went to sleep. But alright guys, thank you everybody for tuning in. Oh, Big Alex Rocks, you said you were joking. Oh, I see. Alright. But thank you everybody for tuning in. This was a fun live stream. And I will see you guys on the next one.